We're going to be testing out the performance of Helldivers 2 on the OLED Steam Deck. We're going to be going through every single type of settings from low, medium, high, ultra. So we're going to find out, is the OLED Steam Deck up to saving democracy? Also, thanks to over 200 people who voted on what game I should test out next. I'm gonna definitely keep doing that, so make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification so that you know what's going on. Okay, so let's jump into options, display, 800p, render scale, performance, frame limiter off. Let's make sure that the Steam Deck isn't limiting. All right, all that looks great. We're just playing the game at low settings, and we'll see how well it handles it. This is the lowest you can do. Everything's off or set to low and lowest. Obviously, in the ship, we're getting about 46 frames per second, but nobody's here to see that. All right, so we're staying at the high 30s. Once I land, I'm hitting that almost 40 frames per second here, which is not terrible, not too shabby. But this is lowest settings. It looks pretty good, to be honest. But yeah, we would definitely rather be seeing, you know, closer to 60 frames per second on the absolute lowest settings that we could possibly be doing on this game. So that's a bit unfortunate that this is what we're seeing. All right, we need to go try to find some more things going on to get some bugs and crap going on the screen. Whoa. What are they shooting? Oh, a laser gun. How'd you like the taste of freedom? I mean, it's certainly just kind of hanging out at that 40 frames per second. And like I said, this is the settings that I use. Essentially, literally putting on everything to the lowest settings possible. Because I would rather be getting higher frame rates than lower, and it still looks fine. So there's no need to be jumping up to something higher. But yeah, getting about 40 to 45 frames per second. But now we're gonna check out what medium settings looks like. Head over into here. Medium is probably still gonna be a pretty viable option. It keeps some things like textures at low, which is interesting because texture typically is something that you can bump up and it's not too difficult. But I'm not gonna mess with any of these. This is the medium preset on Helldivers 2. Let's get into it. Oh, and I'm already gonna die. And we're not getting that good of results even at medium. In the mid-20s as I'm just running for my life. So this test is going to go south very quickly, I think. But yeah, I mean, this is not a game you want to play at less than 30 frames per second. And that's really unfortunate to see that this is already at medium settings in the mid-20s. Super great. I'm probably gonna die, but I need to change my settings. Okay, I'm gonna try to change. I wanna do the performance and maybe try to jump it to ultra performance. Uh-oh. All right, so setting it to ultra performance on medium settings almost gets it to 30 frames per second, but we're still just not quite getting it there. So for the rest of the test, I'm gonna just stay on, I need stems. Okay, that's better. Yeah, so this is struggling really hard. I don't think we're gonna be able to get off of that ultra performance settings for the rest of this test because, I mean, even at medium settings, we're not getting over 30 frames per second. Which seems odd because the game doesn't seem to be like graphically super intense. So I wonder how much this is something that maybe in the future, as they keep making updates, it could get it could get optimized better, or if this is just how it's gonna be forever. With that said, I think it's about time to check out what the heck happens if we set this all the way to high. Things are about to get crazy. This is not going to work great. Now remember, this is ultra performance settings to help it out the most we can, and we're at the mid-20s. Again, not a super great game to be playing at this low of frames per second, and I definitely don't recommend these settings. But this is what you get at high. And when you have it set to ultra performance, the graphics take a huge ding for that. So it's probably not worth doing this. But alas, for science, here we are. Okay, so mid-20s, ultra performance, high. Now it's time to jump up to ultra. Now we're getting into some dangerous territory here. Starting off right at 19 frames per second. I don't anticipate anybody's gonna be playing this game at ultra, you know, at 20 frames per second. But if you want to, I guess you could. I mean, it's definitely like locked in at that 20, but that's not ideal. This isn't like old Zelda games or something. You're being attacked by hordes of bugs, and you gotta be quick, man. Let's try to get in here, get a bunch of things going on, see how low it'll go. Uh-oh, I should have reloaded. No. I mean, it's pretty much staying at that 20 frames per second. I'm out of ammo now. This is low, ultra performance. It looks like garbage. It looks like what I just experienced right there. And honestly, the performance isn't great, but that's because of everything that's going on. Yeah, just having that ultra performance really takes a hit to what it looks like. Not great. But let's try performance. 720. Low. There's just so much happening right now that this is struggling hard, even to keep it at 30 frames per second. I failed democracy. I mean, my final thoughts are, I've played this game a lot on the Steam Deck. I just put everything to the absolute lowest because it does have a really hard time playing this game at any other settings. Make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment about what games you would like to see tested next. Keep your eyes out for the polls. That was very helpful that everybody voted on this game. That makes it easy for me to know what you guys want to see next.